Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Annalisa and this is day 12 of the 12 days of Christmas. Today I'm going to do the Christmas songbook tag created by Haley in Bookland. So the first question is, you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Name a villainous character you couldn't help but love. And in the book Little Thieves, the main character is one of the villains from The Goose Girl. It's a retelling of The Goose Girl, but she's the protagonist of this story, and she sees herself as a villain a lot of times and does a lot of somewhat villainous acts, but I really like her and think she's lovely. Number 2, All I Want for Christmas Is You. Which book do you most hope to see under your Christmas tree? I would really like to own Love Letters for Joy because it has disabled and A-spec rep, which are two identities that I share. So I like to collect books that include those types of characters by those types of authors. Also, it was a fun YA love story. Number 3, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Name a character that overcomes major obstacles and learns to believe in themselves. I picked the book Sick Kids in Love because the main character has a lot of trauma from her mom leaving when she was fairly young, and all the women in her family have been really bad at relationships, and so she worries that there's some sort of problem with who she is, that she will also be destined to hurt the people around her, so she has to learn to overcome that. Number 4, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Part A, which character you think would be on top of the naughty list, and B, which character you think would be at the top of the nice list. So for naughty but not actually bad, I picked, I don't remember her name, but the youngest sister from Once and Future Witches. She causes lots of trouble. She really likes to get into mischief, and she is very headstrong and a go-getter. So when it's time to rebel against the corrupt government, she's the one who really goes out there and does it. And then for the nice list, I picked Sir Callie because they are very noble and always trying to help people and standing up for themselves, but never in an unkind way. They treat their friends really well and are kind to everyone, so I think Santa would recognize that. Number 5, Frosty the Snowman. Which book just melts your heart? Last year I read a picture book called From the Stars in the Sky to the Fish in the Sea. This was about a non-binary child who stuck out from all of their fellows and peers at school, and it's about how the beauty in people and animals is in their variety, and it's actually great to be gender non-conforming and trans, and there's no need to fit into a binary category where everything's laid out for you. You have to be this way, you have to be this way or that way. It's about letting children be themselves, and it was really lovely. Number 6, Feliz Navidad. Choose a book that takes place in a country other than your own. And half of Little Bird takes place in Syria, the other half takes place in the US, and one that I read that takes place the entire time in Palestine is Minor Detail. And I think both of those books were really well done, especially Minor Detail. Little Bird is indie published if you would like to get on reading indie published books this year. It's by Loretta Dixon. Number 7, It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. Which holiday themed book do you use to spread the Christmas joy? And Kiss Her Once for Me is an A-spec romance that I really enjoyed. I read it near the beginning of last year, and it's winter and Christmas themed and has like a lot of snow involved, as well as being a romance, so I think that would be great for spreading Christmas joy. Number 8, Sleigh Ride. Which fictional character would you choose to spend the holidays with? Doesn't have to be a love interest. See, the problem with this is a lot of characters that I admire in books would be like doesn't necessarily mean I would vibe with them in person or that they would vibe with me. So I was able to narrow it down to the main character of Weird Blood, because she is autistic and nerdy, and we have a fair few things in common that I think we would vibe, as well as me just enjoying her as a person. Number 9, Baby It's Cold Outside. Which book that you didn't like would you sacrifice to a fire to warm yourself up in the cold? There were only 2 books that I gave 2 stars last year. One book I loved, but it was appropriative. It had a main character who was Indian, but it was written by a white person, and it had some problems in that area. But one that was totally fine in that area, but that I just totally didn't like, was The Blood Trials. I struggled through 90% of it, and then it committed an unforgivable sin at that point. And so I felt like not only was it totally not to my taste, and I felt like that particular part was badly written quality-wise, it also wasted a large amount of my time because it was an 18-hour audiobook. Number 10, Do You Hear What I Hear? Which book do you think everyone should read? Which is a hard one, because obviously people's tastes vary so widely, so I decided to pick a nonfiction, which could be like good information for anybody to know. So I picked We Do This Till We Free Us, which I haven't actually finished yet. I'm like 70% of the way through, but it is a collection of essays and interviews featuring by Miriam Kaba, who is a big abolitionist and has been involved in organizing for many free this person, free that person, and like hold police accountable for brutality type campaigns. And so like she knows all about how to organize and like bringing together different groups who have like different specific things that they're like fighting against, and like bringing them together in one joint cause, as well as a lot of stuff about prison abolition and why it's important and like what we're working towards and stuff like that. So I think that would be helpful for a lot of people, especially if you don't know much about that. It's very accessible, I found, so easy for people who don't know a lot of the lingo or anything. Did I pick people to tag? No. I will go to my subscription box and I will tag Rana Najjar and who have I not talked about lately? Books with Bonnie. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great new year. I think I will be back next Tuesday with my top 10 books of the year video, which is also a bookish superlative video where I like pick out like this was the best at this and this was the best at this type category. So, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!